back on the higher ground.
I have an attorney general that's advising me that any invasion of Iraq without UN support may be in breach of international law.
Is that what he says?
That's what he says. That's it. In fact, he says more than that.
Do I know this guy?
You don't.
Tell me what he says.
What he says is this: even with UN support, any invasion of Iraq may still be illegal unless we can demonstrate that the threat to British national security is what he calls real and imminent. Real and imminent, George. If Britain is involved, we need to have evidence that Iraq can and will launch a nuclear, biological, or chemical attack on a Western country. We can't go to war because of what we fear, only because of what we know.
I see. That's putting the bar quite high.
Yes, it's high. Now, plainly, if you so choose, you can do it on your own. You can set out on your own. That's your choice. But frankly, I wouldn't advise it.
I understand.
And selfishly, I don't want it, because I think the whole undertaking is far too important. If we do one day reach the point where we contemplate military action, I would want that action to be unarguably legitimate. I would want it to have authority. That means the UN. Now, I don't know how you feel about that. If I'm honest, to be honest, we've been getting contradictory messages from different parts of your administration.
I can believe that.
Now, plainly, if you so choose, you can do it on your own. You can set out on your own. That's your choice. But frankly, I wouldn't advise it.
I understand.
And selfishly, I don't want it, because I think the whole undertaking is far too important. If we do one day reach the point where we contemplate military action, I would want that action to be unarguably legitimate. I would want it to have authority.
Sure.
And in Britain, in other parts of the world, that means the UN. Now, I don't know how you feel about that. If I'm honest, to be honest, we've been getting contradictory messages from different parts of your administration.
I can believe that.
It is an unknown.
It is an unknown.
We both know that a little bit of confusion in government can be creative.
It can be useful, yeah.
Now, I know some of your people genuinely respect the UN, whereas with others there's a certain contempt and almost obsessive hatred.
It's me that'll take the decision. It's my decision. I'm the president.
To me, it's an opportunity. The UN is an American-built institution. America built it. Internationally, well, in Europe and Russia, I can help. I think I can chip in a good deal with personal persuasion with Chirac, with Putin. My relationships are excellent. One of the advantages of being a little longer in office.
Sure.
Knowing the people, knowing the personalities. I have a history, remember? Sierra Leone.
Sure.
Kosovo.
Sure.
Kosovo was a tough sell. People didn't believe in that. Believe me, I'm not scared of being unpopular.
I know that.
Going out on a limb, military purposes for humane purposes is something I believed in for a long time. I find it abhorrent, the idea that the West stands by and just watches unfortunate people suffer. There's a speech of mine, in fact, that I made in Chicago.
I know the speech.
Way before 9/11 even.
I've read the digest.
It's something I've argued, a moral duty, and I believe in it. The West has the right, no, more than the right, the responsibility to intervene against regimes that are committing offenses against their own citizens. It's simple humanity. At some point, we're all going to have to articulate a new code. In my view, there's such a thing as progressive war. But with Iraq, it's difficult because people are asking, why Iraq? Why now? To the British, a unilateral attack is going to seem like an act of unprovoked aggression against a sovereign power. But a multilateral force sanctioned by the UN, that's a different thing. That's a force bigger than nation. That's a force for justice.
I'm going to think about this.
Good.
I'm going to talk to my people. You're always eloquent, Tony.
There's one more thing I have to ask.
Of course.
I have one more request.
Ask.
I've told you, we're at the beginning of a process. I'm going to ask you to go through the UN.
I accept that.
That means new resolutions. That means honest diplomacy. So, nothing could be more disastrous to me, to my position, than any suggestion, any possible suggestion that any single member of your administration had already made the decision to resort to military means. I can't describe the harm that would do.
Tell me.
I have to go back, I have to face my cabinet members, I have to look my colleagues in the eye and tell them the truth. I can very easily lose cabinet members over this. If my enemies can say, this is a war that was cooked up by a group in Washington a long time ago who were just going through the motions. If they can say, America decided this, they decided it, it's fixed, and nothing you do, Tony, will have any effect. If they can say that, then my position becomes untenable.
You need to be in good faith.
It's important to me.
I've been clear with you. We're just discussing options.
Good.
I can say that. We're just looking at options.
Good.
No war plans on the table. It's not on the table.
Good. I think it's important that you say that. I don't just mean that it's important, it's true. I know it's true. But I also think it's important that you say that.
That's what I'm saying.
Lord, please have mercy on